so from TV Studying, and today I'm here to sit down and chat with you guys about the stationery that's been on my wish list for a while, as well as the reasons why I'm not buying them. If you don't know, I've been on the stationery no-buy for 2021, and I've been sticking very close to it. It's been very hard, but I'm fighting the capitalist and the consumerist in me and not buying anything. So I just wanted to sit down with you guys and go through some of the reasons why I choose not to buy something and what goes into my thought process of what I want and why I'm not getting them. And yeah, I just thought it would be a fun video idea to do, so let's go. I am referencing JetPens primarily. I still haven't let myself like unsubscribe from the JetPens newsletter because I don't know, I just want to vicariously live through the new arrivals on the JetPens website. But it's also really bad because it constantly tempts me. So at some point I should unsubscribe from it, but I haven't. But anyways, I'm referencing JetPens for a lot of these items. Have it right here. So let's go. The first thing on my list are a lot of pastel highlighters. So I think one of my main vices when it comes to stationery is highlighters. I love pastel highlighters. I love trying them out. I'm always on the hunt for a good pastel highlighter that has a good ink quality, doesn't bleed through paper, and has a satisfying color range. And after the zebra modeliners became widely, massively popular, JetPens has been stocking a lot of different kinds of pastel highlighters, and although I've tried some of them, I have not tried all of them. So the ones that I was interested in specifically was the Pentel Fit Line Pastel Highlighter, the Staedtler Tech Surfer Pastel Classics, the Epoch Kobaru Sweet Tapir Pastel Highlighters. These ones look super cool because they're scented. They're scented, guys. That looks so good. And then more colors of the Staedtler Tri-Plus Tech Surfer, which is a highlighter that I already have and love, but I would love to try some other colors in the range. So, why am I not buying it, you may ask? I love highlighters. They bring me lots of joy to use, and I love using them. So in theory, I should be getting them. But here's the thing. It takes me literally forever to get through highlighters. They take forever to use up. I go through black gel pens so quickly, but for highlighters, it feels like it takes me a century to just get through even half of the ink in one of them. And I'm an anthropology major. I do readings all the time. I highlight obsessively, and I still haven't used up a lot of the highlighters in my collection. So because of that, I think it would be better for me to just stay away from the highlighters and focus on what I currently have. And don't get me wrong, I do like the ones that I'm using. It's just always tempting to get more, you know? But that's why I'm not getting these highlighters. Oh, and it's so sad. It's so sad. The next thing on my list are fountain pens. Hear me out. I'm a gel pen girl through and through. I'm not a big ballpoint fan. I'm not a big rollerball fan. I tried the Lamy Safari once and I didn't really enjoy it, but something always brings me back to the fountain pen section on JetPens, and it makes me think, oh, I could have a fountain pen. I could join the ranks of those dark academia, aesthetic people on Instagram who use fountain pens. I could be one of them. And some planner Instagrams exclusively use fountain pens with like special bottled inks, and they take pretty pictures of it, of all the different ink colors and all the different nibs and all the cool barrels, and I'm just like, I want to be that. I want to be that. I want to have that. But the truth is, I'm just not a fountain pen user. I tried the Lamy Safari and I hated it because the ink went everywhere. It bled through the ink bled through my paper. The tip was really scratchy. I'm not really a fountain pen fan. But the Twisby Eco fountain pen and the Pilot Iroshizuku inks look so good. The inks look so good. And also, another reason why I enjoy the notion of fountain pens is like the eco-friendly aspect of it. Like, it would be so much more environmentally friendly for me to just reuse the same fountain pen and just refill the ink. And the Twisby Eco has like this cool piston mechanism that you can use to draw ink directly through the pen and just reuse it. And In theory, it is so cool. It's environmentally friendly, it's aesthetic, but it just doesn't fit my lifestyle and the kinds of pens that I prefer to use. And I know that it would be a waste of my money to buy fountain pens and not use them. And in the end, that's not even environmentally sustainable for me to buy something and to never use it. That's just a waste of my money and a waste of materials and a waste of emissions from shipping. So again, I just have to resist the urge to get fountain pens. If anyone's a fountain pen user out there, I'm so jealous of you. You're so powerful. But I just can't do it. I just can't live the fountain pen life. Ooh, and this next one. So I mentioned that I go through black gel pens very quickly, which makes it very tempting for me to get more. So the ones that I was looking at on the JetPens website was the iconic Un Jour de Rêve pen. I'm so sorry if you speak French because I totally butchered that. But anyways, it's the iconic pen in 0.38. And also I saw that Zebra Sarasa released a new gel pen called the R gel pen. And there's a black version in 0.4 millimeters. And there's also the Uniball 1 gel pen in 0.38. And they're very tempting. So tempting. Because in theory, I would use it up. I use pens like no one else. Well, specifically black gel pens. I use them up very quickly as a college student who constantly uses them to write, but they're just so tempting to get. But here's the thing. I know what kind of pens I like. I like the Zebra Sarasa refills, you know, the 0.5, the generic Japanese kind. Those are the ones I like. Those are the ones I consistently come back to. It would be a lot better and a lot more economical for me to just buy the refills that I know I'm going to like and that I know I'm going to use up, rather than try new kinds of pens that I might not like, that I might not use up. A great example of this is the High-Tech C needlepoint pen. So I got this pen before I realized that I really hate needlepoint pens, but everyone was raving about them. Like, apparently the High-Tech C pen was super good for taking notes. It had a really smooth ink flow, but I hated it. It was so scratchy. I hated using it, and I ended up giving it away. I didn't even like use it up. So my worry for these pens is that I might not like them and I might not use them up, and then I'm just left with pens that I don't need. And it recreates the same exact problem that led me to start my no-buy in the first place. So that's why I'm not getting them. Although, when my no-buy is over, I am tempted to get the Zebra Sarasa R gel pens because I know that I like what Zebra Sarasa produces. I've consistently liked their products. So I might get that one, but I might not. Stay tuned on that one. This next one is kind of silly. So it's the Papermate Inkjoy gel pen in 0.5. And hear me out, hear me out. This is a pen that I've already tried before, and I know that I like it in the 0.5 version, but I liked it literally like 4 years ago. This is a pen that I discovered in high school, and at the time I really enjoyed them, and I thought they were really comparable to my current like favorites at that time, which was the Pentel Energel. But the 0.5s, I remember them being so good, so I want to repurchase this just to see if it's as good as I remember it being. But like, I've already tried it. I've already used it up. I know what the experience is going to be like, and I know that I'm probably gonna just go back to using my Zebra Sarasas anyway because that's my current favorite. So why do I want to get it again? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I know what's gonna be like, but for some reason, I think it's gonna be different. I think it's gonna be like totally different from what I experienced like 4 years ago, and that makes me curious enough to like want to try it out, which is a silly idea and a silly reason for wanting to repurchase them, especially when I'm on a no-buy. So those are my thoughts behind the Papermate Inkjoy. And then the Zebra Beeline Ballpoint pen. So this is a pen that I already have in a multi-pen version. I think I featured it a while ago on my channel, and I got it in PR, and it was a beautiful experience. I normally hate ballpoint pens because I feel like my handwriting looks very odd in them, and I find that I have to apply a lot more pressure to get the same kind of color payoff with a ballpoint pen that I do with a gel pen. So in general, I'm not a ballpoint fan, but the Zebra Beeline is one of the few ballpoint ink formulas that I genuinely enjoy using. I'm using the Beeline pen right now in lab because I prefer using ballpoint pens in lab, because if you spill water on them, it doesn't go as like smeary or smudgy as gel pens do. And trust me, I know from experience, I totally spilled a test tube of buffer on my protocol, which was like, it was covered in notes with gel pen on it, and the ink just bled everywhere. I couldn't read what I had written. I couldn't read the instructions anymore, so I had to print out a new one and rewrite all my protocol notes on it with a ballpoint pen so that next time if I spilled something, the ink wouldn't smear. So I know that I would enjoy this pen. However, the only place where I consistently use ballpoint pens is in lab, and I already have my Beeline multi-pen for lab. So why do I want another Beeline pen? And the easy answer to that is really just because they have different colors of the barrels. Like they have this pretty pastel purple and a pastel pink barrel for the Beeline pen, and it's so cute. But I would only ever use it in lab, and maybe like on the few occasions when I decide, oh, I'm not gonna use a gel pen today, which is like almost never. It's one of those purchases that would be like, in theory I would like it, but in practice I really wouldn't use it up, if you know what I'm saying. And the last thing on my stationery wish list is kind of a broad category rather than a specific brand. It's Korean stickers. I don't know if you've been on Korean journaling Instagram, but I sure have. And, oh, it looks so cute. They have like these confetti styled stickers. They have like these really cute bear stickers. There's like these ribbons and like little bow stickers. And oh, it's just, I'll put up some examples up on the screen if I can find them, but they are so cute. I looked on a website called 10 by 10 on a web, and I've also looked at Artbox's website. Artbox is a stationery store in Korea, and 10 by 10 is a Korean online shopping retail site. And it looks so good. It looks so good. However, the reason why I'm not buying these stickers is because, well, one, I'm on a no buy, but two, the shipping cost to the US is exorbitant. It's crazy. It's wild. Like a sticker sheet that costs like $3 would cost like $20 to ship to the US for one sticker sheet alone. Don't get me wrong, like I would love to support local Korean artists and like support like small like stationery shops in Korea, but I can't pay for that shipping. I'm poor. I'm an FLI student at a predominantly white institution that takes so much of my money through tuition. Like I can't pay for that. So every time I see Korean journalists or like people ordering Korean stickers or doing like a group order or a group buy for Korean stickers, I want to join in, but like the shipping cost is just too high for me to justify getting a few stickers. So that's the last thing on my list. I hope this was like, I guess, entertaining or informative in some way, but either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!